thanks for joining us. If it seems like power outages have been increasing in frequency, you'd be right. According to Xcel Energy, Minnesota customers averaged about 170 minutes of power outages 2 years ago. That increased last year to more than 300 minutes. So what can be done to address the problem? Reporter Sarah Allen takes a closer look.
Crystal Mayor Julie Deschler has received a lot of complaints about power outages this summer.
There's been a large number of residents and a couple of businesses that have reached out to myself and other council members about the increase in power outages in the community.
And when you are mayor of a city, a citizen's problem is your problem.
I worry about the expense of groceries and possibly spoiling. And then just not being able to watch television or be connected to what's going on in the community when you have no power. It does bother me.
Xcel Energy is aware of the problem too. Crews have doubled inspections of power line poles and electrical equipment, replacing old, worn-out parts when needed with new ones.
That hasn't been weathered, right? Hasn't been out in the sun, the UV, hasn't been a part of the rain, the wind, any of those things, or hasn't taken any sort of tree damage.
Xcel is also ramping up its tree cutting, especially in troublesome areas.
Power lines and trees don't mix well together. Anytime we've got trees that are encroaching on the conductors on the poles, and if they touch and there's moisture, or if they touch in general, they can blow a fuse, they can trip a reclosure.
Here in Crystal, about 85% of the scheduled tree trimming has been completed, and that should make a difference.
I'm hopeful with those projects that things will, get a little bit better in Crystal for the residents and the businesses.
Mayor Deschler personally met with Xcel Energy. She says she's pleased with the progress being made in Crystal so far.
We feel more comfortable that, the residents and the businesses aren't being forgotten.
Sarah Allen, CCX News.
Meanwhile, Xcel Energy is requesting increases to utility rates for this year and next. Xcel Energy is asking for a 13% increase over 2 years. The request totals nearly $500 million. Here's what it would mean for the average customer. According to Xcel Energy, its rate request would increase utility bills by nearly $14 per month. The utility company says the increase is needed to improve reliability of distribution and for clean energy projects. Public hearings on the rate hikes have started. More are scheduled over the coming days. Big changes are coming to Golden Valley. The city is planning a major revamp of its Civic Center campus.
The idea is to come up with a plan for where all of the new facilities should go. So a new city hall, public safety building, library, and actually a new water tower too, which is going to be really fun because we can decide where that goes.
The city issued a request for proposals for firms to redesign Golden Valley's 14-acre Civic Center campus. It's unclear yet what the budget for the final project might be. The city already has local sales tax dollars set aside to rebuild the fire station and police station. Most of Golden Valley's city buildings on the campus were constructed decades ago. According to city staff, the best option is to build new.
It's just to provide good working facilities for our staff. We've looked at some remodel options. I think the majority of the facilities were built in the 60s, so they're just a little outdated, undersized, and specifically our police and fire need some upgraded amenities.
Design work is expected to start by the end of this year. The future timeline for the project would then be determined by the City Council. Now to a story about a Plymouth church that is setting out to do good. But to pay it forward, it first needed to pay off some bills. I share how its congregation came together to make that happen.
I think we have found our home. And so that's how I got here. An act of God.
A church's foundation is its people.
I'm an old guy.
When Phil Zietlow first came to Messiah Church,
back then there were no stop signs or stop lights, anything like that. It was really country.
it and Plymouth were much smaller.
The room that we're in now is the sanctuary.
After what Zietlow calls many leaps of faith, the church grew.
That's been a 60-year adventure.
But as its building and outreach expanded, so did its debt. As head trustee, Zietlow noticed something. The church was paying around $90,000 to the bank each year. If they could pay that off, the money could go into the community.
I was like, well, if we have a capital campaign, I really believe the people in this church will get together, see the need, and get behind it and make it happen.
We continue to be a church that shows up.
And to Pastor Tammy Lucart's delight, the congregation made it happen.
We launched it in late May, and by the middle of August, this church had donated enough more than $422,000 that we completely paid off the mortgage.
We celebrate a new beginning, being a debt-free church.
Paid off and then some in just a few months, thanks to its people.
I was impressed.
Can you give me a Yahoo?
The church celebrated in September with a mortgage burning ceremony in its parking lot.
It felt so good to come together as one big family and then to walk out into that parking lot on such a beautiful Sunday morning and to just celebrate together.
Back inside, the back of the sanctuary holds a reminder of the church's small beginnings and a reminder of all it can be.
This really historic moment in the life of this church, that all the gifts that are given can now be deployed into mission in this community.
Pastor Lukart says there are plenty of places the freed up funds could go. Their affordable early child care center, their international ministries in Kenya, and other community partners are to name a few.
CCX Media, your source for great local programming, is available on Amazon Fire TV, Apple TV, and Roku. Our free app allows you to stream all 3 of our channels live. You also have access to a large on-demand library, including full sporting events and daily newscasts. To find us, go to the store, search CCX, and download our free app. Then sit back and enjoy all of your favorite local content. The CCX Media app, available on Amazon Fire TV, Apple TV, and Roku. Maple Grove has one of the top girls volleyball teams in the state this fall. The Crimson are 14-3 on the season. In this week's CCX Sports Spotlight, Chaz Moots introduces us to a junior playmaker that's leading the charge for the Crimson.
In the Maple Grove Gymnasium, the Crimson volleyball team keeps their winning ways going. Junior Tess Schuler knows her team is a competitive bunch.
From the start of the season to now, you can already tell like everyone wants it more. And with like 16 girls on our team, it's very competitive, but I think it's very like boosting like environment. Like we all want it for each other, but we also all want the spot.
The spot that Crimson head coach DC Brown is hoping for is a first ever Class 4A state tournament appearance.
I think they believe it, and that's one of the goals that they set at the beginning of the season. But we've been stressing daily, right, that last year and this year are not the same year. It's not a continuation, right? This is a fresh start.
A big reason Maple Grove is ranked all the way up to number 5 in the state in Class 4A is because they have one of the best outside hitters in the state, Casey Schulte.
Kind of just second nature for me. Like when I play, I don't really think, I just kind of go, and I attributed that to my mom and a lot of my coaches I've had along the way. And I just picked it up in one day, and I just love it ever since.
Casey's older sisters, Sydney and Abby, both were standouts in golf and basketball, but Casey hit it off in volleyball.
My sister set a lot of records here too, and they were like, oh, are you gonna like reset her basketball records? And I was like, no, like I think I want to be my own person and definitely try something new.
Well, 3 years ago at a club volleyball tryout is where DC first saw Casey play.
So we'll have 6 on this side.
Not knowing until later that he was watching his future Crimson outside hitter.
She walked into the gym for tryouts and then thereafter, and we're in the court, and she bombs a ball down the line that goes off a kid's shoulder. I thought she took the kid's head off. And I was like, oh, who's this kid? And I'm like, oh, she's at Maple Grove? Are you kidding me?
The sight of number 24 going up at the net is something opposing defenses have come to fear. And her teammates get excited for her.
Yesterday we had a few points, and she just like get up and get at it, even in like slower games. And it's just like a whole like energy change on the team, and you can definitely tell it makes a difference.
It wasn't the position she originally played until a switch was made her freshman year.
I used to be a setter when I was like 12 and 13, so right when I started, which was what my mom was. Setting is so much fun because you can see people like get kills, you can get excited for them, but I think like getting the kills is even more exciting because you can still attribute it to your setter. But I still love setting now. I kind of wish I was deep down, but like I still love hitting too.
Being positioned at outside hitter allowed Casey to use more of her athleticism. College coaches came calling, and in June, Casey committed to the University of Arizona State.
I knew I really wanted a bigger school. Both my sisters went to big schools. I went double the size, but I just knew like from the start I wanted a bigger school. volleyball is just a bigger sport there and like bigger than most people think when you just think of ASU. You don't really think of like volleyball, but they've been doing really well, and I also wanted to be at a competitive school where I could still make a difference in like their program.
First things first, before Casey heads south to Arizona, she wants to make a difference at Maple Grove, starting with that first ever state tournament appearance.
I really want to go to state, and I think you can tell it in a lot of my teammates too. We all really want to go, and I think like we're working so hard at it right now, and you can see it in like our practices and our games. Like we all really want it, and I think just to go there for the first time this season, like and get like Maple Grove volleyball in the books, I think would just be super cool.
In a match against Minnetonka earlier this season, Schulte recorded a school record 29 kills to lead Maple Grove to a 5-set win over the Skippers. Casey and the Crimson will take their 10-game win streak on the road at Champlin Park on Tuesday in a match you can watch live here on CCX. For the CCX Sports Spotlight, I'm John Jacobson. Find more prep sports games and highlights at ccxmedia.org and follow us on social media.